Welcome everyone to Beyond the Adventure. Today's episode is Blue Ridge Parkway Part 1, and let's get started. For the opening shot here, I wanted to show you guys the sign that you would see if you were entering the parkway on its northernmost point, which is actually just outside the southernmost point on the Shenandoah National Park, or the Skyline Drive, which is where I took you guys a couple weeks back on Adventure Wednesday. The link is up here or down below in the description. Anyways, I'm going to pop this map up on the screen right now. The end of Shenandoah National Park is actually the start of the Blue Ridge Parkway, and the Blue Ridge Parkway extends all the way down through Virginia, West Virginia, North Carolina, Tennessee, and it actually ends up stopping right in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, where Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge and Cherokee, that type of area is. Anyways, going on to the Blue Ridge Parkway website, or the Wikipedia page first, the Parkway, which is America's longest linear park, runs for 469 miles through 29 Virginia and North Carolina counties, linking Shenandoah National Park to Great Smoky Mountains National Park. It runs mostly along the spine of the Blue Ridge, a major mountain chain that is part of the Appalachian Mountains, which, believe it or not, the Appalachian Mountains actually stretch all the way up through Massachusetts, and they end up stopping in New Hampshire right at the base of the White Mountains from what I remember. Anyways, its southern terminus is at US 441 on the boundary between Great Smoky Mountains National Park and the Cherokee Indian Reservation. Last year when I took you guys to the Great Smoky Mountains, when we were driving through there, I'll put a link up here if you guys want to check that episode out. We actually passed by one of the entrance points to where the start of the Blue Ridge Parkway is down there. And for this year, for this episode right here, we were actually starting on the northernmost point of the Blue Ridge Parkway. It's part of Virginia State Route 48, though this designation is not signed, and both Skyline Drive and the Virginia portion of the Blue Ridge Parkway are part of this Route 48. Anyways, going to the actual website for the Blue Ridge Parkway, let's see if I can find what I wanted to show you guys. Absolutely amazing drive if you ever get the chance to go down here. Now this, unlike Shenandoah National Park, is a free road to drive on, and like Shenandoah National Park, no commercial vehicles are allowed on this road. There's only motorcycles and trucks, cars, SUVs. Occasionally you will see a camper. Now this was, like, technically I like to call this the real first stop of the day. The first overlook that you saw us stop at like 2 seconds into the park didn't really have that many great views, but this right here had a lot of great views. And right there, the car in front of us was actually from the state of Massachusetts, and it's hard to see, but the car that parked behind us, I don't even think it's on camera, the car that parked behind us was from the state of Vermont. So it was really weird having all these New England states surrounding us, and they actually were going and stopping at the same stops that we were stopping at for a little while now. So it was just this little convoy of cars from New England traveling around down south together. Absolutely love this little marker on the rock right here. It says Raven's Roost Blue Ridge Parkway. It is a marker that shows the direction, the compass bearings, the coordinates, you know, things like that. Very, very cool spot, very, very peaceful spot. It was just absolutely amazing watching the clouds go over this valley here and seeing them cast their shadow down below on the small towns and everything that were around there. While I continue to drive here, the Blue Ridge Parkway is a ribbon of road that weaves through the region's vibrant living traditions. This is right on BlueRidgeParkway.org. From Cherokee life and agricultural history to Southern Appalachian crafts and music, the Parkway's 469 miles through Virginia and North Carolina offer many ways to explore rich traditions. So, from what I recall, the speed limit on the Parkway is 30 miles an hour. So if it's 469 miles in total, divide that by 30 miles an hour. This should take you roughly 15.63 hours to go through the entire drive if you were driving. I think I did my math correctly there. Anyways, and it is an extremely long drive, and there are many points where you're actually not even going to be doing the speed limit because there's sharp turns, or there's, you know, the weather impeding your visibility, things of that nature. Luckily, unlike when we went through Shenandoah on the first day, or the early morning of the first episode through there, there was no rain, it was completely clear, there was no mist or anything like that. There were actually storms you could see far off in the distance that were building up throughout the course of the day when we were traveling on here. Once again, you will see a different variety of foliage, I don't know why I even try to say that word, I can't say it, but from the bottom of the mountain everything is lush and green, and you get to the top and the trees are really thinned out, they haven't really budded yet for the season, and this was taken very early in the month of May, so the beginning of last month there. I'm sure absolutely everything is in full bloom down there right now. I'm sure all these trees are completely covered in green. But anyways, heading through here, there were a couple spots to pull off, but to me it kind of seemed as though a lot of these spots would have had great views maybe 5 to even 10 years ago, and they didn't really maintain them, so a lot of the trees are overgrown. So when you get to a view, you got a bunch of trees like this, and you know, you can very briefly make out the stuff in the distance, but it wasn't really something to set the camera up and do a time lapse and show you like all the stops that we made on the Shenandoah Skyline Drive. Like I said, that one right there was 105 miles, and there was something like 70-ish overlooks, so that's, you know, almost an overlook every mile and a half, give or take. But right here the overlooks are a lot more spread out, and believe it or not, you can actually see off in the distance there's roads, and people do live up in here. There are houses off in the distance, there are, you know, private drives that you can turn down, and there's somebody's house down at the end of it, which I think is really cool to live, you know, right next to this national park, to live with this Blue Ridge Parkway as like a main drive to get to your house. I think that'd be absolutely awesome. So I'm going to go through here and wanted to read one more thing to you guys that I saw right here. Millions of visitors each year enjoy the Blue Ridge Parkway. Some think of it as just a motor road or a pleasant drive. The Parkway is also a place of varied and significant natural resource. Covers a wide range of habitats along the Appalachian Mountain, and some of these habitats are exceptionally rare. Visitors encounter unsurpassed diversity of climate, vegetation, wildlife, and geological features. So there are mountains. Let's see if I can find the list right here. I don't know if it's going to be on here. Okay, so Klingman's Dome, which is where I took you guys last year, was an elevation of 6,644 feet. There was nothing that was really that high in this point from what I recall. Mostly everything around here was like 3,300 feet or so, give or take, but overall it is a very nice drive. Now, hopefully, I don't think it'll be next season, but the season after that, my goal is to go on the complete drive, starting Shenandoah National Park, going all the way through the park, then going into the Great Smoky Mountains, through the Blue Ridge Parkway. So I want to start all the way at the tip of Shenandoah and go all the way down to Pigeon Forge or Klingman's Dome, anywhere, you know, in that area, the Great Smoky Mountains. I want to travel the entire Blue Ridge Parkway. Like I said, I did it twice before. Well, technically I did it once before the entire time on the motorcycle, and then the other time was actually towing the motorcycles through some of these parts, and then we stopped down in, I believe it was called Walhalla or Valhalla, something like that. It was a tiny little mountain town, like not too far away from Cherokee and Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg, that area. We actually stopped there, and that's where we ended up staying for the week, and we would get off on the motorcycles and go up and down the parkway or go explore different areas. But I've only traveled the entire distance, the 469 miles, once on a motorcycle. A lot of fun, and considering you get roughly 70 to 100 miles per tank of, you know, gasoline on the motorcycle, you do have to make quite a few stops along the way, but it is absolutely worth the drive. I would recommend, if you ever get the chance in your lifetime to absolutely go down here and see this. This place is absolutely amazing. And here where we stopped, it's actually a little bit confusing, because at this point where we stopped, we exited the parkway and we went down to last week's episode, which was the Natural Bridge. I'll throw the link up here and down below in the description. And then we got back on the parkway here and continued south towards Roanoke. Anyways, that's the end of the episode. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see everybody tomorrow for Thungry Thursday. Peace.